Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Religious Lens, the show that analyzes pop culture from an LDS member's perspective. Yes, this page has been resurrected. To prepare for the premiere of the Avengers Infinity War, we decided to release an episode each week of this month analyzing the key Marvel films leading up to this point. This week we're taking a look at the one that started it all, Iron Man.
Jarvis, you ever hear the tale of Jonah?
Yeah, we have. Ironically, Tony Stark's mishaps parallel those of Jonah. His life is on one path, he is swallowed by the whale, he is spit out on dry land, and this motivates him to change his ways.
I had my eyes open. I came to realize that I have more to offer this world than just making things to blow up.
However, we feel that Stark's life better parallels that of Alma the Younger. While Jonah was a prophet before he was swallowed by the whale, Alma was actively causing spiritual death, much like Tony was a merchant of death.
Peace.
When Alma sees an angel of the Lord, he experiences a change of heart and recognizes the destruction he's caused. And Tony sees the light when he learns of the destruction his weapons caused from the tales of Yinsen. In Mosiah chapter 27, verses 29 to 32, Alma says, "My soul hath been redeemed from the gall of bitterness and bonds of iniquity. I was in the darkest abyss, but now I behold the marvelous light of God. And now it came to pass that Alma began from this time forward to teach the people." Alma, even you're selling out? Alma no longer fights the church and becomes a defender of truth. Tony no longer sells weapons and instead becomes a defender. When Tony returns from his captors, he announces that he will no longer be making weapons.
Effective immediately, I am shutting down the weapons manufacturer division of Stark International.
There is a lot of surprise and backlash towards this statement because Stark Industries became famous for making weapons. Obadiah even says,
"They want to lock you out."
However, Tony sticks to his guns by burying them.
They've been dealing under the table, and I'm going to stop them. I'm going to find my weapons and destroy them.
Just as the anti-Nephi Lehis buried their weapons. King Lamoni issues a statement to the people after Ammon and his brothers visit, saying, "I thank my God that by opening this correspondence we have been convinced of our sins and of the many murders which we have committed." He commands his people to bury their weapons. What follows, however, is destruction among the anti-Nephi Lehis because they refused to fight back. Though Tony Stark buried his weapons, he also knew that defensive response is necessary to protecting the innocent. When the anti-Nephi Lehis moved to the land of Jershon under the protection of the Nephites, they too feel the need to protect their families and want to take defensive measures. Because they made covenants with the Lord that they would not take up arms, their sons suited up to defend the people. Tony Stark acts as both the fathers and the sons of the anti-Nephi Lehis. He recognizes the destruction he has caused and has come to a convincing of his errors, which leads him to his atoning moment.
I shouldn't be alive. Unless it was for a reason. I'm not crazy, Pepper. I just finally know what I have to do.
The anti-Nephi Lehis say in Alma 24 verse 12, "Let us stain our swords no more with the blood of our brethren." Tony also recognizes the necessity of protecting against terrorism, which is why he develops the Iron Man suit. He alone wields the power to remain accountable and contain its usage from those who would use it irresponsibly. This is where Tony is also like the stripling warriors. He maintains a level of pacifism by ceasing to create weapons of mass destruction, but still believes in the necessity of violence by only taking up arms, quite literally, when it is necessary for defending lives. Right next to the tale of Jonah is Obadiah, and just like the book of Obadiah, this Obadiah is all about that destructive life. As a family friend, along with being Tony's right-hand man in Stark Industries, Obadiah appears to have Tony's best interests in mind. When Tony decides to stop building weapons, this conflicts Obadiah's ultimate agenda of selling to terrorist organizations, and this flawed way of thinking is what leads to his downfall. If we look to 3 Nephi chapter 13 verse 24, we get some insight as to why remaining neutral can be problematic. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. By selling to both sides, Obadiah has really chosen to back the terrorists. He cannot claim he is striving to serve the good of the U.S. and armed forces when he is selling the exact same goods to another group, much like we cannot show obedience to our Father in heaven if we are also falling into the temptations of the father of lies. At some point, we are faced with the decision to choose who we will continue to serve.
When I was naive before, when they said, here's a line, we don't cross it, this is how we do business. If we're double dealing under the table, are we?
At this point, Obadiah is presented with two options: to assist Tony by allowing him to keep ownership of the company, or to keep making money off of the collateral damage of war.
Let's take a picture, come on. Picture time. Hey, who do you think locked you out? I was the one who filed the injunction against you. It's the only way I could protect you.
Even though Obadiah chose to aid the terrorist organizations in the end, the fact remains that you cannot serve two masters. Thanks for watching this episode of The Religious Lens. Were there any other gospel principles you saw? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's open a discussion. Yay!